gave me shit. I've worked for this. At this point, I'm just done with encouragement. You say talented, I say calloused. I'm tasting my blood, just pronouncing it. Since Fairfield days, the beats I made, I may have quit drinking, but dream the same. I was told it's the moon. Like good luck, Mr. Rocket Shoes. And they asked me why you working all days of the week to get somewhere you'll never reach. I've been wishing for better so long. I guess I'm sick of wishing in my bed alone. If those wishes were weapons, they're full metal jackets or stuff. So fuck wishing I'm here with a gun. Jiminy Cricket never made me anyone. All my clips are full of bitterness, and I'm coming for you. I'ma bloom like a wicked magnolia. I'm not stopping this, just the opposite. I won't drop when most people need oxygen. Since the green Lexus, since the weed excess, since the drink was my treatment for depression. Man, my lips been blue, fuck what stitches do. I put red on this mic like it's 92. I was told it's the moon. Like good luck, Mr. Rocket Shoes. And they asked me why you working all days of the week towards something you'll never be. I've been wishing for better so long. I guess I'm sick of wishing in my bed alone. If those wishes were weapons, they're full metal jackets or stuff. So fuck wishing I'm here with a gun. Jiminy Cricket never made me anyone. All my clips are full of bitterness, and I'm coming for you. I'ma bloom like a wicked magnolia. Until I'm taken by weeds, my will is my leprosy. Instead of wounds that scrape the sheets, I've got no turn back in me. So set glass beneath my feet. Take the last breath that I need to meet what glows beyond my reach. I'll become a tragedy. No hell that spells retreat. Fuck your gravity. This to the grave. This to the grave.
What's going on, fellow people? I was kind of bored today, so I figured I'd hop on stream. And there's a couple good things to talk about. Usually when I hop on stream, there's no exciting news that's relevant. Because most news, 98% of it, I would say, is absolute garbage. But we do have a little bit of news today pertaining to some of the stuff I've been talking about. You know, nothing too crazy if you're just in the trading market here, but if you are a miner, today yesterday marks a very significant day. The difficulty bomb that we've all been scared of has now started to work its way into our lives. Now, it still could be rolled back because all the difficulty bomb is like a piece of code. They can turn it off if they need to, but right now they are testing whether or not it is going to be viable to start the difficulty bomb now or if they need to wait till later. Part of the problem, I'm referring to ETH, that is. So if you're a miner and you're mining Ethereum, the difficulty bomb essentially is going to make your profits go down artificially. Not even, it's a weird situation, the difficulty bomb, because it's like they want us to continue mining Ethereum to keep the network afloat, but for some reason they want to take away profit. So it's a lose-lose situation, because if people start losing profit, a lot of the lower end miners have to turn themselves off because they're not making enough in order to be in the positives. So for them, there's no incentive to keep that difficulty on the network. So the hash rate's going to go down, but the difficulty is going up. Now, obviously, that's the intended goal because they want the Ethereum, proof of work blockchain to come to like a freeze slowly over time. But the thing is like there's going to be a significant drop in the processing power of Ethereum, which Ethereum might tank in price because of that, because a lot of what's holding up the Ethereum market is like NFTs and stuff like that. And if it's not worth it for them to build on top of that blockchain anymore, they're just not going to do it. So let me bring up NiceHash here. Talk about that. So last night or yesterday evening, depending on where you're at, there was a huge spike in profitability, which kind of sent shockwaves through everybody's mind right here. So let me bring up the... Let me see if I can go back a little bit here. I have to go out to 1 week here. Let's shorten it up. All right, so I don't think there's any way for me to get rid of a lot of this noise on the chart here. But what we're looking at specifically is that green line. All right, that green line signals how much profit am I making on average per day, the pay rate of mining. So right here, it shot up to almost 160,000 Satoshis pay rate. And then it started to fall off pretty quickly. It stayed around 40,000 to high 20,000s for quite a while. And now we're back down to about $20,000 a day. Not $20,000, but 20,000 Satoshis. So this got people really excited. But now that the difficulty bomb's starting to kick in, the profits are going to start dwindling here over the next couple of weeks as that difficulty increases. So it's not the end of proof of work GPU mining. What that signals is that there is going to be a shift of the networks. Basically, people are going to stop mining Ethereum, specifically GPUs, because if they have an ASIC and it's still profitable, they are going to continue to mine just because it's the most profitable. But let's say you have a lower end card that's not making as much now, you might shift to one of these other coins or algorithms. And with that increased hash rate, it will give some of these coins more power to uphold projects going into the future, which we might see some increase in stability of price, maybe for Flux and some of these other assets as well. So I went through and I made sure that I did a proper benchmark on NiceHash in order to get all my algorithms up to date with my new overclock. And that way it knows which one is the most profitable. If you guys are GPU miners, I do think NiceHash should be the way you go about the next couple of months because of this difficulty bomb. What you can do is you can go into the settings, and right here you can put in your electricity costs. Just look up your county or your state and find out what your average electricity cost is, or if you have access to that data, you can go ahead and input this manually. And then you can go ahead and put what is the minimum amount of profit per day. Okay, I put 50 cents because as long as I'm getting 50 cents extra for every dollar that I put into the market, because I'm going to be buying crypto anyways, I do want to have that miner active. So this will automatically shut off the miner if the profitability drops way too low. And then from there, we just keep on cruising. Because I do think there's going to be a extreme winter for GPU miners. That's not anything new. But our best hope is that one of these coins on this list rises in price versus difficulty and can help balance out those profits. Because as long as you're making something for the power that you're putting in, because even Flux is still kicking in terms of some decent profitability, you should be fine. So wanted to get that out of the way, talk about that for anybody that's interested in that kind of avenue. You can see right now I have, let me turn my miner off here because I might be disrupting the stream here. But I'm still getting roughly around $6 to $7 a day if I mine for every 24 hours. Obviously, because one of my PCs, I use it for gaming and streaming. I can't mine for 24 hours straight on it, but I'm still getting a decent amount. It's nothing that's really too extreme, but it will get worse. So expect that. All right. Like I said, look at the profitability. If you're making more, all right, that's always a win. All right. Because like I said, if you can go to, Coinbase, and for every dollar you put in, you get 50 cents extra, that's a win-win situation, no matter how much. All right. Now, obviously, the higher the profitability, the better you can build your positions, but it's the ROI, not the ROI, but the R&R of what you're doing. That's what's most important. If you approach it from a trading perspective instead of a business perspective of, how fast am I going to pay my miner off, you should be fine, because things will bounce back. This is a very short-term dealio, but it could have some major implications for the price of Ethereum, which will affect pretty much all the alts as well, just because Ethereum is kind of the lead altcoin, so alts tend to follow Ethereum, and then Ethereum tends to follow Bitcoin in terms of the confidence of the market. Now, short term, we are coming back above my entry point for longs on BTC, just because if we are holding above this local low, I do have a little bit of confidence for a larger retest coming up here in the future. Now, personally, just because some of the ways some of the alts are looking, I don't know if that's going to be the highest likelihood, but I'm just playing it. Like I said, I have a short position from 45,350. So if I'm wrong, I'm still right. And if I'm right, I can take profits, and then hopefully it comes back down. So my current positions as it stands are a long on BTC from about 38,715, because I was a little bit busy at the moment. But so I didn't get the exact cross here, which kind of sucks, but it's good enough. My stop loss is still below that support, so all that really matters. It does mean that I'm a little bit less safe. And on the smaller time frames, we do have an ABC for a short position here, so it could definitely be short-lived in terms of being in this long position. Now, I really hope so, because one of the best... Sorry, I need to drink some water. One of the best positions on the board right now, and I hate to say it, because obviously I'm going against a lot of the people here, is a short on Kadena. I'm not even referring to the FUD that we saw Ryan put news out on today. I'm specifically talking from a support and resistance R&R perspective. I neither love nor hate Kadena when I talk about it in this scenario. Okay, I'm simply looking at it from a chart, looking at what is the reward versus the risk, and playing the smart move instead of what my emotions tell me to do. Okay, wanted to make sure that's seen. But let's go ahead and open up the chart here. So we talked about this yesterday, which I did catch a long on Kadena from last night. I caught a long once we put in that lower low that we talked about on stream. It was very slight, and I don't even know if it happened on the KuCoin chart here. It looks like it was a double bottom on the KuCoin chart, but on Bybit, it was a lower low. So I was able to catch a long from about $3.52, and I played it up to the last known local high here. I took profit somewhere about right here. So I made a good $130, $150, and I only got stopped out once on this, I believe, which I don't know how that happened, but it did. So I think because we put in that first lower low here, I took my entry, it came back down, and because I was a little bit late on my entry there, I got stopped out when it hit the support again. But so that's a good net profit of $110 to $130. Actually, let's just click this and check. Let's see, $156, and then I got stopped out once. About $125, $130 net profit. And I've been trying to get a short position. My first one was right here on Kadena. We had a, now this is a small time frame, so I posted this in the high risk setup side of the Discord here. All right, so I don't put an at everyone on these trade setups because you have to kind of be there in the moment, because a lot of the times it is smaller time frame trades. So I posted that setup last night. It was working out, but unfortunately we do have a little bit more to go up here. So at the moment, if we come back down below $3.93, give or take, I will be going short again. Or if we put in a higher high here, and then we come back down below that resistance, I'll mark those out so you guys can see them. It's gonna be $4.07, or if we come back down below, $3.93. Now, if anybody hasn't seen me talk about this, the reason being for why I'm saying this is because if we look at the macro chart for Kadena here, all right, remove all that information. We have an A, we have a B, and we have a C. So right now we do have a macro bullish setup for Kadena, but as long as it's below the A, we can't really go long on it, and we can't really anticipate a long. We can anticipate a long if we get back above $4.37. I will be taking a long on Kadena. But as we are below that support, there is absolutely nothing to catch us macro-wise until we get down to about, I would say, $1.80 to about $1.40. All right, that is quite a drop. All right, so if we can get a short position as it's retesting or close to retesting $4.37, you potentially have the ability to get a short that could be worth about 66%. All right, so if you're on 10x leverage, obviously playing an altcoin, high risk, be safe, that's about 660% to your margin. So it is a high risk, high reward setup that I'm willing to play. Now, the reason why I'm not super sad about that is because if we do get down to $1.40, that is our next logical support region. So if you're confident on buying Kadena in the first place, you should be even more confident to buy it from there. Now, theoretically, the Bitcoin and Ethereum market should hold up decently, even though Kadena could drop all the way down to $1.40, meaning the mining profits from Ethereum should be somewhat decent, meaning I can get more Kadena per day and I'm buying it at a support. Win-win scenario. I'm getting more for my dollar and I'm buying it at the best place possible. Like I said, if we do happen to get back above $4.38, $4.37, I'll take the long. All right, I'm not afraid to do so because I'm not approaching this from a perspective of I need to be wrong or I need to be right. All right, I'm playing the setup as the setup is made. All right, going with the most logical and high probability decision at the moment. All right, that's all there is to it. You shouldn't attach your personal obligations to the community or anything like that with financial decisions related to you personally. Okay? Don't be the herd. All right? So, at the moment, like I said, waiting on either one of those two things to come to fruition, and we can start kicking to the downside. And obviously the FUD doesn't help, but I don't really factor that into my decision. Like I said, purely it comes from a chart perspective. The FUD only helps the probability. So, who knows? But, all right, now that I'm done with the TA for the day, I'll talk about Ethereum as well. Like I said, Ethereum, it's pretty much in the same boat as BTC. It's a little bit farther away from the point that I would like to get into a long. So, but if we do happen to continue falling, there isn't major support until around 2,550. Jumping between these massive price points, you know, talking about $1 price point versus a $1,000 price point. Excuses me. And I'm so sorry that it's 2 a.m. where you're at, Anton. I can't help, we're on a globe. And it's a weekend. This is an extra stream, you know, so if I go live, I go live, and it's depending on what my schedule's like for the day. So, sorry it's so late, man. I had the air conditioner blowing in my eyeballs right now. Can I check ADA? Sure. ADA has a rocky chart, not gonna lie, for the last time I checked it. So, I mean, ADA, from an ABC perspective, you do have a decent ABC here. If you're holding a position for about 75.1 cents. But telling you what, with the way the rest of the market is looking, I don't think that it's going to hold. There could be a retest, like I said, with BTC crossing back above its last known decent support. There is a potential, but I do think it'll be short-lived. Like I said, I don't think Bitcoin's going to go put in any more all-time highs. All right, we only have upside probability until roughly around, like, I would say like 44,000 if we maintain above this support. So Switch a J. What it do, Kite? It do good. Like I said, you know, even though short term, well, long term, over the next couple of months, the profitability for mining is going to get lower and lower. Yesterday was quite the nice payday to get paid 6 times more for that, you know, short period of time than what you're used to. So, there was an NFT that had like a mint or something that caused so much massive congestion on the network, it caused the mining fees to go up so much. So, obviously, being a miner myself, little guy, small miner, you know, I receive the benefits of a heavily congested network. So, I'm gonna miss ETH being proof of work, but I think they're killing their project, to be honest, because it might be dead in the water before it even gets to proof of stake, which Ethereum's Ethereum, so it's a good coin, but the short term, they're going to kill it because no one's going to want to use it. If people start withdrawing their hash rate from the network, block times are going to get to like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, which the network would be ass if that was the scenario. Nobody would want to use it. Dude, pay the gas fees. They go to me. The joy of being a miner. You play both sides. Would the ABCs work on the overall housing market historical chart? I believe it's due for a correction. What's the ticker for that, if you don't mind? I mean, ABCs, the main thing that I'll tell you about them is that it's not that they're magical, and that you're gonna see a reaction from the market from them. It's so that you have a way to, you know, maximize your risk reward ratio around that whole thing. Now, fortunately, it's for people that are trading, it proves as like a psychological thing. People take breakout trades, and if it comes back down below the resistance or back above the support, people start getting liquidated, which plays further into your position. It's a win-win. All it is basically swing failure breakout, just simplified. Damn it, Kite. I was long from 37,702 and I closed it at 38.2 after that damn scam price action the last 2 days. Scam market, damn boomers pumping and dumping. I don't know about that, man. It's just because it's not because it's a scam. It's just that there's uncertainty. All right. With us being at this position right here, look how choppy this price action is. It's not a direct support and resistance. It's an area. So if you don't expect the price action over here to be choppy, if it was a direct like up and down, like boom, 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 and there was no chop in between going like this, all right, we would probably just fall back down to that one line of support. But because it is more of an area, it kind of gives cadence to the bulls and the bears to have some sort of, reason to be bullish or reason to be bearish. Because right here you have a resistance, and right here you have a support, on the smaller time frames. So, it's just they're playing that region. Obviously, I'm looking for bigger moves, so I'm more concerned with, the major separations of trend. So, yeah, I've gotten stopped out probably a good 4, 5, 6 times. But that's the thing. If we fall from here, I'm going to add like another $500 to my short. So the $200 that I lost trying to get long positions, which could pay off, is not in vain. It's just adding security. BHLX housing. So, I mean, you can see the makings of ABCs. All right, let's go back in time here. Now, it's not going to be the best, but look right here. You have uptrend, downtrend, uptrend. All right, you can see the market came back up and tried to retest it, but failed. Then we came down. You have downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. Once we retested this bottom and we got back above it, the market was able to recover. You can make this into a 1-2 structure from Elliott wave, target the 1.618. You can see the market came up, started to hold resistance, but was able to break through it, came back down, retested as support. Right here on the smaller term time frames, you can see downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. It was able to hold that support. We had a bounce from there. Overall, you can see uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, slightly higher high. The market couldn't break higher. It fell off a cliff. This was in 2020. Looks like COVID. And obviously because of COVID, you can't really say like, there's no ABC in that. And then right here, it looks like we had uptrend, downtrend, but there was just so much resistance it couldn't put in that higher high. So technically you are left with downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. So if the market does recover above 439, you should see continuation to the upside. But if not, your next logical support would be about 358. And then after that, your next logical support would be about 229. Am I in any trades? Yes. I am in a long on BTC, which is slightly in the negatives. And I am in a short on BTC, which is severely in the positives. which obviously the short is more likely to pay off here, long term here. And then I'm currently waiting for KDA to get back down below $3.92 in order for me to go short again, or if we put in a higher high and then come back below $4.06. And then I'll be short on KDA from there until about $1.80. That's when I'll start probably shaving off my position, maybe looking for hedges to the upside. Kite, where did you learn all this? Time, trial and error. Like I said, whenever I talk about stuff, it's from a matter of personal perspective. Like, I've tried Market Cipher for a year. I've tried GoneFans. I've tried looking at Bookmap constantly every single day. I've tried these things, and yes, like Bookmap, for example, is a good tool. It can show you a lot of things, but the problem is the stress it puts on you. And as well as that, the overconfidence that it gives you, because it's a equal, reaction. Like, when you give yourself a new tool that is powerful, you feel more powerful. Therefore, you make stupid decisions because you think that you're better than the market, which leads to even further loss. So if you put yourself in a position of, I don't control this thing, all right? So you work with it. You use decent risk. You don't overdo it. You take a chill pill, you relax. You learn how to play your own psychology correctly. You balance your system so that your system works for you. I truly think that the key to be a better trader is to just be calm and think logically and not give in to your emotions. Those emotions can be good, those emotions can be bad in terms of overconfidence, and dopamine rushes and happiness can be just as bad as being negligent, ignorant, and just oppressive and angry. The best traders can just chill in the middle. They're not over happy, they're not over sad, they just are. I don't like Market Cipher just because I do think that there is psychological problems with it, and it gives you too much room for what's the word I'm looking for? The best word to describe this. It gives you too much room to interfere with a working strategy. So with Market Cipher, you have like 6 different indicators all combined into one. So you're going to be constantly scratching your head, and when you change your time frame, it changes drastically. For me, when I change time frame, nothing changes about the chart besides the detail. That's all it is. And the same goes for Market Cipher. It's just a lot of people can't wrap their heads around that. As well as that, I don't feel like paying a subscription to a tool that I don't think is going to help me a lot. So, like I said, I don't think Market Cipher is a bad thing. I just think that it's a bad business model with a lack of education behind it, because I don't even think the people that made it really know how to use it that well. That's why I put out YouTube videos on what I thought was possible with Market Cipher, and really what it came down to, every strategy that I had on Market Cipher was an if this and that statement, true or false. Like I said, I don't think it's a scam. I just don't think it's the best business model for a product. That's all. How do you identify just visually if the ABCs are playing out / putting out a healthy structure or not? Well, usually what ABCs are is you looking for the first 2 signs, and then waiting for the third, and then waiting for the third to trigger the trade. So if I have a lower high here, but I can see you don't need this price action over here to show you anything. You can say, okay, this is definitely a downtrend, and that downtrend became an uptrend. All right, so if I have an A and a B structure and I don't put in a higher high, I can expect at least a retest of the A, or the market will definitely try its best. So what I wait for is for the lower low. Now, usually I would like the lower low to just be a slightly lower low and then come back above the A, because that's going to be the strongest push to the upside. But if we do happen to come above the A, nonetheless, it will see a retest of at least the 0.441, if not further, if the market is truly bullish. I mean, you can even go down to a smaller time frame here. Look at this. You see that? You have downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. So let's say you were chilling right about here. You can say, okay, I have an uptrend, I have a downtrend. I have a downtrend and I have an uptrend. And if I'm like in the middle of this downtrend, I can just go, okay, I'll patiently wait until the market puts in a lower low. And then if we get back above that support, I'll buy into it. What did you see come in afterwards? Upwards price action. Because the market proved that that price point was accurate, and now it needs to retest higher to see what is accurate to the upside. And in the market, all the market is trying to figure out what is the best price point for the asset or whatever this market is. I guess the housing market as a whole, at that point in time. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. What's my short-term long target? If price action continuously stays above BTC and shows sign of support, particularly that price point being about 38,570, then we should have some decent upwards price action to, we have probability until 45,370. So we have all of this room to go up. Now, technically the next major local high of this specific trend, which we're working against short term, would be 43,000. So, if we do see upwards price action, we might get a little bit above this into this, region right here. That's most likely where I'll be taking profit if we do see upwards price action. But I'm not counting on it at all. I got a little tiny EKG in the mail today. That way I can track my progress with my heart rate variability training. So starting today, I am going to start my fast, and 40 minutes a day, well, 20 minutes twice a day, I'm going to have intentional breath rate training in order to get my... I got to learn the medical term for it because then I can talk about it appropriately, but there's a word that starts with a B, which basically is responsible for how fast your heart rate can respond to your breath. And if it's out of whack, you have a significantly higher heart rate for no reason, which is not a good thing long term. So if you train your breath, that system can start working appropriately again. And now when you breathe out, your heart rate can slow down like normal instead of staying elevated. Because when you breathe in, your heart rate increases, and when you breathe out, your heart rate decreases. But because that system is out of whack, it doesn't do it it doesn't respond quickly. So therefore it's only counting the breaths in, not the breaths out. And then so diet, and then the heart rate variability training, and most importantly, my sleep schedule. All right, because when you don't have a consistent sleep schedule, you're basically signaling to the brain that you have predators chasing you, and like you can't stay in a place for a long period of time. So basically you start losing out on deep sleep, and it puts you in a heightened sympathetic nervous system state, which just is not a good situation. So I got a couple things I've been fricking up on, and if I get them right, I'll be cruising mentally and physically. So today is day 1, and I'm going to be taking a lot of statistics with it. That's usually my problem. I don't like to write things down or track things. So I figured if I can see the improvement, I'll have more. How do you know if it's out of whack? If you have an Apple Watch that has an EKG, or if you buy one of these, independent ones that work a little bit better, what you want to look at, now obviously you need a professional to look at it, but you can see it for yourself. If you breathe out and you hold your breath out of your body, you should see your heart rate decently decrease, right? If you don't see that, that means that that system is not working appropriately. And then when you breathe in, you should see your heart rate increase. The time it takes for your body to respond to your breath is what you're looking at. So they can also measure your heart rate and look at the frequency. If it's not chilling around, I don't know if it's 0.1 hertz or 1 hertz, they can tell that that system's out of whack. But you can also measure your breath. Like, don't try to control your breathing and have a third party count how many times you breathe in and breathe out naturally, which is extremely hard to do, because if you are focusing on your breath in terms of testing it, you're more likely to interfere with that process. So your breath should be under 6 breaths a minute. All right. If it's not, then you're not treating your body appropriately. The only time that you should be breathing more than 6 times a minute is if you're exercising, because then you need increased oxygen, or if you're hunting or running away from predators. If not, you're basically just signaling to your body that you're still in a high stress situation. And that's just not good. Being high stress for no reason biologically, even though you know that you're not in a stress situation, it can still influence your decisions. Especially, there's no reason to be in a sympathetic nervous state when you're staring at a chart on a computer screen, sitting in a chair in an air-conditioned office. When you have kids, you're always in that state. Yeah, I guess. Hey Kite, is a LHR GPU like a 3070, 3080 still worth getting? The 3080 and 3070 LHR, considering the fact that like LOL miner and T-Rex miner are so close to unlocking the full capability of LHR, I would say is worth getting. But I'm being 100% honest, don't be surprised if you're not making really anything on them for like the next couple years. All right. It's worth buying them now just in case, but don't buy a lot. All right. It's really not a good investment. All right. Because if, like I said, if you're looking at it from the perspective of you're going to be buying crypto anyways, and as long as the price ratio is good, because I'm looking at it from that perspective, R&R, return on my investment, and then continuous return on my investment if I'm DCAing at the right price points. So, but if you're looking at it from like an ROI perspective, you're not going to like what you see. So if you want to try that for yourself, counting in your head, because it's attached to the same area of the brain that's responsible for you having the ability to worry. Counting, like counting sheep, technically is legitimate in terms of the science of going to sleep. So that's why, like, one of the in the training for airmen, because they have to be on call pretty much all the time when they're on their ships, they teach them how to go to sleep in under 6 minutes. And one of the strategies they use is one, boxed breathing, in for 4, out for 4, that kind of thing. And then counting backwards from 200, because it gives your mind something to do besides worrying, and then you can get to sleep. But if you just chill there and then breathe in, breathe out naturally, and then breathe out and hold it for, I would say, somewhere around 7 seconds, and then breathe back in, breathe back out, hold for 7 seconds. That should put you in that 5 to 6 ratio for breathing. And then it's over time. You have to train your body manually that's the correct way to breathe. So that's why I said 20 minutes twice a day. And eventually your body gets in that rhythm naturally, and then you don't even have to worry about it. Yeah, I stopped my Adderall prescription for 2 months. I'm going to be focusing on those other factors, and then if everything gets back to normal, well, better than normal, I'll continue with my medication, because I do have ADHD. It's just, since I don't actually like work in a actual office or anything, there's no real reason for me to have them, because I'm on my own time. But in terms of like being productive, being on time with the streams, that side of my life, going outside, buying groceries, it helps with that, which obviously helps just my overall mood. So, give or take, Rich Franlin ran a mile at 35 beats a minute. That dude's a turtle. Is he dead yet? Because I don't think he will be for like the next 130 years. Jesus Christ. Dude, if his heart rate is that low and he's that much of an elite athlete, that dude's not going to be dead for like, he's going to live to at least 100. I can guarantee you that, unless there's an accident or if any of his other health is not up to par. I used to be a professional athlete, and I'm an elite athlete agent now. Need any help with some of the biohacks / help tips? Let me know. I help out with the heartbeat, buddy. Dude, message me on Discord. I will soak up any information about these types of things, and because that's the thing, like, if you've been researching it longer than I have, you can help condense what's important and help me get to what I'm trying to do faster. The book that I'm about halfway done with, Heart, Breath, Mind, that's what's helping me with the research on HVT. That's exactly what I'm starting today. So I'm doing a 6-hour eating window. I'm doing a 2 to 8 p.m. and then I'm gonna be doing that for the next 2 months consistently. Because, you know, part of the heart rate process is I could have like calcification buildup and just the fat in general, the amount of, you know, meat my body has to pump blood through. So obviously the weight and the other benefits that come from fasting, not just the weight loss, is definitely going to significantly help my heart rate, but also the breathing itself should help as well. Because before I start, like I'll take my heart rate right now for you guys. I'll show you. I'm not joking. All right, I'm sitting in a chair and I'm talking to you guys relatively calm. I'll show you what my heart rate is. A 100 beats flat. And then it says no abnormalities. So no arterial fibrillation or tachycardia. So it's just for me to be sitting in a chair right now and not being really, you know, energetic. I shouldn't have a heartbeat of 100 beats per minute. So that's why I'm handling it now and just not throwing it out the window and saying it'll fix itself on its own. So I'm going to give it 2 months, and then past that point, I will seek professional care if nothing helps. Because I consulted my physician. My physician said, as long as you're not like in the 150s sitting in your chair, you should, you know, focus on the process of elimination. If that does not help, then she'll recommend me to a cardiologist. That way we can fast track the process. You should find a girlfriend. It's good for your heart in various ways. What country am I living in now? Virginia, United States. No, I don't vape anymore. I'll be honest though, like I haven't quit nicotine fully. Now, for like the 2 months, month and a half after I quit vaping, I did quit nicotine, but I did research on the cholinergic system and how nicotine interacts with the brain. And I picked up these Zen nicotine pouches, tobaccoless. So theoretically, without tobacco, without any of those negative things, it's just pure nicotine. So there's no real health side effects with that. The only problem with nicotine is um, when you use nicotine, there's a chemical in the brain and it grows the receptors for that. So let's say when you first started, you have 5 receptors, and then you started using nicotine every single day. Now you have 10. So when you don't have nicotine to substitute for that chemical, because your body only produces so much naturally, you now have receptors that can feel the lack of that chemical, which causes obviously withdrawals. So as long as you keep it in check, like, you know, on stream, I would have to constantly vape, which the vapor in the lungs is not the good part. But with these, I probably use it maybe like 4 times a day, something like that. So and teach yourself. He said, have you done any complete blood work? No. I thought about doing it because, just figuring out my hormone levels overall might be good. How do you do your taxes as a Bybit user in the United States? So, unfortunately with Bybit, because it's not like a recognized exchange by the United States, you can't just take your CSV from Bybit and do your taxes with it. All right. Technically, any money that hits your, Coinbase or Kraken account from Bybit is immediately shown as basically just a deposit. And if you withdraw that into cash, you're responsible for taxes on all of it, not just the capital gains. So if you make an extreme amount of money with Bybit, you will pay more in taxes, but it's a win-win situation. Bybit gives you the ability to amplify your profits. And if you want to play that game, that's what you got to do. Ocean Blue, I'm here now. Can you restart everything again? And yes, repeat everything. Thank you. At least you're honest. Let me zoom out here so I can have a little bit more. There we go. Poor Craig. I mean Satoshi. Yeah, right. If he's Satoshi, I'm Satoshi. I've got just as much right to that wallet as him. Hey Kai, what's your perspective on longing versus shorting alts at this time? Because technically the probability is to the downside for the entire crypto market as a whole because of BTC and Ethereum, the primary should be shorting. But, if on the shorter term time frames, BTC is coming back above those local lows, and if your altcoin has a setup that can give you a good R&R and way to appropriately size your risk, it's up to you. I'll reach out to you via Discord. Just let me know what your short-term and long-term goals are, buddy. Mostly it's the heart rate. And obviously everything else comes with that. So, like I said, gonna be doing the intermittent fasting, trying to get the benefits from it, as well as the weight loss, which should help my blood pressure. And then the heart rate variability training to, have my body appropriately respond to the systems that are supposed to be in place. And then from there, once my heart rate's under control, then I don't have, the fear of going to the gym, running on the treadmill, getting up to 180 beats per minute, and then dropping dead in front of everybody. I'm not worried about dropping dead. I'm worried about dropping dead in front of people, because that will traumatize them, and I'll just feel bad from the afterlife. I'm like, oof, sorry. Like I try to apologize to them as a ghost, and they call me a demon. And I don't want to be called a demon. I'm just trying to say sorry for dropping dead in the middle of Planet Fitness. I know that was very traumatizing. And they're like, oh my God, it's opening and closing drawers. And I'm like, I only know how to do Morse code as a ghost. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, the Andrew Huberman is the one that I saw that brought up heart rate variability. And I knew about heart rate variability from Wim Hof, because when I do Wim Hof, I've tracked my heart rate before. And that last breath in, where you like condense it up into your chest and it kind of hurts, because you're putting so much pressure on your thoracic cavity, your heart rate spikes down super fast, which is what causes you to have the high adrenaline, but then keep your heart rate under control. So I knew that breath influenced it, but I didn't know the science behind regular breathing every single day. So, okay, in your Patreon, do you teach how to trade like step by step? Not really. Like, I do have tutorials on there that aren't on YouTube. They're a little bit outdated, but all the Patreon will give you is access to this Discord, which has a bunch of people that have been in this Discord for a long time. They're working just as hard as everybody else to control their emotions. You have, people that you can bounce your ideas off of that know how to play my setup similarly. And, I'm chilling in the lounge one every other day, so you can talk to me personally. It just kind of gives you a direct pathway to me outside of YouTube, but there's nothing in this Discord that you can't find from my streams. So don't feel like money is going to, make the world of a difference if you just watch the streams. And then I have specifically a questions for Kite channel here. And I'm going to answer that question after the stream. But feel free to ask anything. If you need a step-by-step, just ask me the question. I'll explain it. If you need to ask another one, I'll explain it. Just like the YouTube channel. Well, so Ocean Blue, when I had my doctor's appointment yesterday, who is a physician that can, she had the ability to prescribe beta blockers and whatever I needed. So she's trained in that medical field. She told me that in my current situation, it's not dire. I'm not hypertensive. I'm, pre-hypertensive depending on how high my heart rate gets. But 100 heartbeats a minute is not going to kill me. She said, all right, you're a little bit overweight. Your sleeping schedule's not good. Your diet's not good. Work on those 2 months, and then she'll personally recommend me to a cardiologist so that we can fast track a lot of these tests. Because right now, trying to get that stuff done in a timely manner is going to be absolutely stressful. So Jimmy does hi P. He said, would you ever consider carnivore diet? So I have actually a lot of experience with this myself because my dad was on Atkins pretty much my entire childhood. So the science behind why the carnivore diet works is because protein is a lot harder to digest than, say, carbs. And carbs are specifically what's causing a lot of the problems for a lot of people. So that keeps your insulin lower for a longer period of time, which allows you to get your body into these states where it can use its fat, it can appropriately work. And that's why the carnivore diet is really good. But long term, the carnivore diet is not good, right? If you're having health complications or if you're not eating right in general and you switch to a carnivore diet, you're going to see massive health benefits for a couple months probably. But past a certain point, you're getting a lot of nutrients that's being missed in your diet, which long term will be a problem. So yeah, carnivore diet immediately is a good situation, long term not. So but the science behind it is pretty much identical to intermittent fasting. Just with intermittent fasting, I can eat fruits and vegetables, I can still eat carbs. It's just all about the time restriction to allow the insulin to drop off a cliff and allow those bodily functions to start coming to the surface. So I have no issues with the carnivore diet. It's just I do think that there is better alternatives to it. But the science behind it is pretty good. So late to the stream, did your KDA short trigger? Yes, it did. So I mean, like I said, I'm not too concerned on the short term here, but as long as we're below this first ABC setup, I'll be short. If we do happen to put in a higher high and then come back below $4.06, I'll be short again. As long as we're below $4.36, I want to get a short from here. If we get back above it, I'll go long. Is Hex a Ponzi? Technically, proof of stake is kind of Ponzi-ish, but what Hex was trying to do was go, okay, Ethereum, right, is having complications with this, and that, right? So Ethereum is going to move to proof of stake, which should theoretically help those problems. But because Ethereum was already an existing blockchain, it has to take its time. It has to take a year in order to appropriately shift to the new style. And because of that, Richard Hart goes, oh, I can just fork Ethereum, make it proof of stake, beat them to the punchline because I'm starting from scratch, and then say that it's better than Ethereum, which it is Ethereum. Just it's at the point where Ethereum wants to be faster, but it has no reliability in terms of the time it has been tested. So that's all it is. It was a smart decision by him, but I don't know why anybody buys into it. It's just Ethereum with a different name, but it's proof of stake faster than Ethereum's gotten to proof of stake. That's all. But when, Ethereum has a whole bunch of people that are involved with it. I don't know if, who would you rather have, Vitalik Buterin or Richard Hart? And Vitalik Buterin has a whole team. Richard Hart, we don't know who his team is. He just takes all the credit. So if it's just him, I don't care about Hex. Just curious, I've lost 100 pounds on it since May and use it as an elimination. I've been adding veggies over a week, test 2 periods. I think the fact that I cut out the processed foods is... Exactly, that's what I was saying before. If you're eating the wrong way and then you switch to the carnivore diet, you're going to see immense health benefits. But if you continue to just stay on the carnivore diet forever, all right, you're going to be missing out on some nutrients that you need from, other parts of your diet. So it's a good way to like fast track getting back on track. But then, yeah, you're adding fruits and vegetables over the past couple of weeks. That's good. The World Economic Forum says that Bitcoin must use proof of stake. Yeah, they're willing to go suck a pee-pee. Trust me, man, I have done immense amount on intermittent fasting and the benefits of it. It's an absolutely phenomenal tool. That's why these religions use it, because it's an incredible technology. All right, the simple act of fasting 40 days for Lent, or the month of Ramadan, has immense health benefits that we're only really starting to understand. It's a problem, in this modern society. Food is an addiction, so it's like withdrawals. It takes about a week to 2 weeks to withdraw from food addiction, and that's the hard part. So starting today, going for it. 2 months. I've said it like at least 5 times in the past year, but dude, I'm trying my best. And I think the issue that I'm having is when I had a successful intermittent fasting run for about 5 months, dropped down from 190 down to 155. I was feeling great, looking great. I had a consistent sleep schedule at that time. So I think that's the missing piece of the puzzle. Because at that time I was working. So, I was getting up for school, coming home. I had shit to do and I had to be up at certain times. Working for myself, doing the live streams, there's no obligation like that. So I think that's the issue. It's damn difficult. I think the way that I have to break myself like a horse is set my alarm for like 10 a.m. in the morning. And even if I only got 2 hours of sleep, I need to wake up and I can't go back to sleep until at least, about 8 hours and 30 minutes before 10 a.m. and just kind of suffer for a little bit. I mean, I've done extreme things in the past. Like I said, I did a Uberman sleep cycle for 2 months. And for like a week or two, I had severe deep sleep deprivation. But after those 2 weeks out, my body switched up and I was able to get, my REM sleep during those 20-minute naps. Your body's incredible. It's just, the problem is like, once it's stuck in its ways, it's extremely hard to get it out. Wow, you are a smaller than I thought. What? You calling me small? Well, maybe you're just a big man. I'm not small. You're small. Man, I hope this market falls flat on its face. Because if we drop back down to like the support of $1.40, 643%. I'll make $1,264 if this short holds, but obviously there's a couple stops that are going to happen along the way here, trying to get that position. That'll be a nice nice R&R. A little. What would that be? Like 200 R&R, 100 R&R? $64 R&R, which I don't know why I couldn't do the math in my head. I said it earlier, 66% drop at a 1% stop loss. Yeah, because I'm 5'9", so I think my target weight is somewhere around like 160, 155. Like that's smack dab in the normal BMI range. Obviously, like if you have muscle past 160, then you're, that's good. That's good weight. But in terms of fat, yeah, not good if you get past 160 and you're primarily fat. I was long yesterday on KDA from about $3.52, but I took profit. If we get back above $4.37, I'll go long on KDA, but as long as we're below that last known support, the next support is $1.40. So I'm simply playing the R&R in the highest probability, not attaching any emotions to it. And the crypto market as a whole was bearish. You can't really hope for something to go up in a totally bearish market. Yeah, I know, because BMI doesn't take into account like your fat versus muscle. That's what I was saying before. But considering the fact that I'm not really muscular, BMI is technically correct. Do I eat bread? Yeah, I eat bread. Let the shorts hit the floor. Let the shorts hit the floor. Let the shorts hit the floor. Is Link going to 0? I don't know. Is it dropping off a cliff? I mean, it's $11. I wouldn't say it's going to 0. But the next support for Link is $7.38. And then if it can't hold $7.38, it's going down to $1.52. If it can't hold $1.52, then it will go down to 16 cents. But if we can get back above $13.47, we should see bullish price action. You can see right here when the market got back above that after putting in the lower low, we saw a retest, but things are just bearish right now, guys. There ain't much to really say. Check LTC. LTC is kind of in the same situation as well. If we can get back about $104, we can maintain some sort of bullish price action. But let me get a more macro chart here for LTC. But if LTC can't hold that, the next local low is $64. I know I was kind of zoomed out there, but this is the local low that I'm going off of. You can see uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, trend. Can I get your Discord, please, Kite? So the Discord is private for the Patreon members. But like I said, don't feel pressured to buy it if you don't need to. It's just if you want to have better connection to me and have like the group of people around you. Would you be able to take a look at XRP for a minute? Sure. I don't even have it on my watch list. So XRP is at a strong support right now, or relatively close, about $1.51. If it can't hold $1.51, there's a chance for it to hold 37 cents. And then if it can't hold 37 cents, it's probably going to drop down somewhere close to around 22 cents. In terms of short positions, the last known short position on XRP was this ABC right here to the upside. You can see a slightly higher high right there. So the last macro position to get into a short on Ethereum was about 91 cents, which would have paid off incredibly well so far, about a 50% drop. In terms of like small time frame trades, I don't think you should, but I guess, you know, we do have an uptrend, downtrend, uptrend on a 15-minute, but I don't know if I would trust that necessarily. But who am I to talk? I'm taking a short-term time frame trade on KDA, but that is coming from a macro perspective. Like I said, I'm not afraid to play the smaller time frames if it's in confluence with the large macros. With us just breaking one of the most macro supports on KDA, if we can't get back above it, the next one being $1.40, it makes sense for me to try to take these shorts. Whereas XRP, let's see. Like I said, the next macro support is 51 cents. So, I mean, if you take this short and it falls down to 51 cents and it gets another hefty retest, you only go out 15%. I got 60%. So it's all about taking the trades out of the best R&R, not necessarily just trading whatever coin. Do I hold any KDA? I'll show you how much KDA I hold. Now, if we get back up above $4.37, I'll buy some myself with my money. But other than that, I just go with my mining profit. Let's see. I hold 9 KDA. Because what I do is I mine, I get paid out in BTC, and then I transfer that to KDA, Monero, and Flux. Maximizing my R&R. Like a nerd. So right now, like I said, with us potentially having a 60% drop, it just doesn't make sense for me to buy right now. If we can get back above that solid support, I'll put my money where my mouth is, but until then, no. Just doesn't make sense for me to do so. No, I GPU mine Ethereum or whatever other coin might be profitable, efficiency-wise at the time, and then I transfer it into KDA. So I'm mining KDA, but just not with a KD box. But guess what, guys? Because the markets are dropping, if you go look at the KD box prices, they're coming back down. I was looking at them last night. These were going for like $5,000, but now you can get the 2.6 terahash for $2,700. So keep an eye on those prices, because you have to think about it. Like, when the profitability does come back, and it will come back strong if KDA succeeds, the difficulty isn't going to be able to spike all that too much, because these manufacturers, they only produce a certain amount of KD boxes because of the demand. And then once the demand falls, the supply drops, and then when the crypto market hits, it hits hard. And they're not able to get that supply out. That's why these miners become like 2 times their original value, because the manufacturer can't sell enough. You know, they can't make enough. So the difficulty is not going to really spike too high when the time comes. So even if you can get one of these for cheap and you just be patient, if KDA does come back, that mining profitability is going to come back up. Like I said before, mining is not necessarily about the ROI, the return on investment of the singular device, but the long-term benefit that it gives you of getting more for your money. All right, if you can go on a Coinbase and for every dollar that you put in, you got $2 back immediately, and made it so that you're basically invincible from a 50% drop when you buy it, isn't that just a plus? That's why mining is definitely a good idea, and that plus the privacy as well. All right, if you buy off a Coinbase, if you buy off a Kraken, government knows what you got. Can't hide it no more. But if you're mining it and it goes straight to a wallet that you own the private key and it's never been used, linked to an exchange, nobody knows you got it. Kite, do you see yourself as a crypto nerd, a chill dude, or a Brad Pitt sex idol? All of the above. It's like the holy trinity of of just, I don't know. I imagine that's the holy trinity right there. You got the crypto nerd, which is just God. He's like, I'm gonna make this reality. They're gonna love it. Just making like reality out of Legos. Look at this. You see? I made a bridge. And then you got the chill dude, the Holy Spirit, that's just kind of floating around all day. I'm love. And he just kind of floats around. And then you got Jesus, the Brad Pitt. He's like, I got long hair, a nice beard. Everybody loves me. Pretty much. That's how it works. Christianity in a nutshell. I'm just kidding. If anybody is offended by that, please don't be. It's all jokes. How can you use Bybit from the USA? Just a VPN. How would you trade $1,000 and how much leverage? So, in the description, go to the Kite's Risk Reward calculator, put in $1,000, and no matter how you set this up, make sure that your risk is below 1%. So you can use 10% of your portfolio as margin, risk 10% of said margin, and then, your stop loss is dependent on what you want. So if you want to be a little bit more safe from volatility, you'll have a 2% stop loss, 3% stop loss, 4% stop loss. If you want higher profits and you're willing to deal with the volatility, you will be paid for it. So if you're using $1,000 with $100 of margin and you're willing to lose $10 for every time you get stopped out, which is 1%, you'll be using 10x leverage. You'll have a higher R&R. But if you want less ability to get stopped out, you'll use 5x leverage. See? How could you, Modern? How could you do this to me? I swear, if I lose this short because of you, I'm coming after you. What do you think about Luna right now? Short setups, question mark? I mean, on the small time frames, you have a similar setup to XRP. You would short as long as you're below $82.72. Not financial advice. I'm just talking about the ABC setups. I feel like YouTube guys are always watching me now. But one thing, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a real concern, but we could possibly have a retest on Luna to the upside if we get a lower low and then come back above. Let's see, that's about $75.77. So that is kind of in your way, but you can always hedge it if you're playing that type of setup. I think BTC has, a chance to reverse back up to about 44 to, 43,000. But as long as we're below 45,000, it's really not in the favor of longs. Ever take a Myers-Briggs type? Is that a test, like an intelligence test or something, or is it a medical test? Oh, INTF. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up. I'll show you. Oh, no. Okay, I was wrong. I am a INTPA, an analyst. I took this back in high school. And does it show me? Where's the part where it shows me, like, who else in history was a... did they change their website recently? Einstein was an INTP. I know that. I don't know why it doesn't show me it anymore, but... %66% introverted. Intuitive. Thinking. Prospecting. I'm assertive. Well, there you go. Now you can FBI manipulate me. What? Follow Kite Crypto and his friends, the Face Crypto, the MC. Don't you see the resemblance? Your loss is their profit. Join me and join the resistance, those weirdo freaks. I'm confused. I'm confused. Haven't been able to watch your lives lately. What are your thoughts on us staying in the current wedge and going up? Oh, guess I already answered. Yeah, but I went on that website a couple weeks ago, and it was the same as when I was in high school, so they must have updated it. No, that's inappropriate to say. Don't just say don't do drugs, kids. Because the kids are still going to do drugs. That's just how it works. All right? Research drugs before you do them, kids. Because then you can really find out if it's worth doing. Because some drugs are. Just going to put that out there. The truth. Nothing but the truth. Some drugs have great benefits. Up to a certain extent. It's like nicotine. Nicotine has a U-shaped curve on its effectability. Past a certain point, it's not good. Below a point, it's not good. There's a sweet spot. You see that John Oliver about data recently? Nope. I don't watch John Oliver. I have a 1% stop loss on the KDA short because technically we could still go all the way back up to about $4.36 before we get rejected here. So I'm just playing it carefully. I only got about $20 worth of risk on a $3,000 account. So I'm below 1%. Now I'm using $20 because if I do get stopped out because of the funding rate and everything, I get like an extra like $10 worth of loss. So technically it's still 1%. Because it's important, like, like psychedelics, for example. It's important to understand how psychedelics interact with the brain because they're not really bad for you, but in combination with certain other drugs or the overuse of it can be bad for you. Take, for example, like SSRIs, which inhibit serotonin leaving the brain prematurely. Because psychedelics bind to serotonin receptors, if the psychedelics get into your brain and they can't get out normally, then you're kind of screwing yourself, dude. That's why it's important to learn how the drugs interact with the brain or the body and go from there. Because some drugs just straight up suck. Some drugs, pretty cool. They can be used appropriately. Like Hitler, for example, they didn't do their research because they suck. Dude was taking amphetamines during the day and then opioids at night. So he's having withdrawals from amphetamines at night and then having withdrawals from opioids during the day. That's what made him go crazy, Dorothy. Dude was insane. People be dumb sometimes. Be smart. That's also a problem too. You can do a little bit of marijuana when you're doing shrooms. I usually don't combine psychedelics with marijuana because marijuana is a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So it basically is almost doing the same thing as an SSRI, it just doesn't last as long, so it's a little bit safer. But like if you're doing psychedelics and you're constantly hitting, a THC pen, you're gonna get a rough. That's where people go crazy for a little bit. I've seen a lot of friends do it. But on April 19th, I was on shrooms on the live stream, just chilling up to a certain point. Then I was like, I gotta go lay down. And I left you guys. But I had to. It was bicycle day. The law. All right, guys. I'm gonna start winding down for bed here. 10:37 where I'm at. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to get on a consistent sleep schedule. So, I'm gonna try to wake up at least. I'm gonna set my alarm clock for 10 a.m. And no matter how much sleep I did not get last night because I'm not on that schedule, I will wake up at 10 a.m. So tomorrow I might be a little bit cranky on live stream. I'll be back at 1 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time. And we'll talk about what's going on in the market, and then we'll go from there. But appreciate you guys' time tonight. I know it's a little bit later live stream than what I'm used to doing, so appreciate people showing up. So today marks the first day of my new life until I fail again and then tell you I'm gonna do it again later. Just kidding. I'm really gonna try my hardest because time is of the essence. And now I kind of have a motivating factor because I liked feeling normal. I liked having motivation that the amphetamines gave me. So I can't continue to use them safely if I do have these health issues. So, that gives me a motivating factor, which I know people are going to be like, drugs are your motivating factor to get healthy? Well, yes, they are. All right. If health is the end goal and it helps me get healthy, don't see what the problem is. Because what else are you going to live for in life, man? I got money. I got cars. Love will happen when love happens. Other than that, I just got my amphetamines, man. So when I talk about that, people probably think I'm crazy. But no, I actually do have ADHD, so it helps me, concentrate, feel normal, be my best self. ADHD isn't a bad thing, but there are certain factors of your life that can be greatly improved by medicating with it up to a certain point. Under 10 milligrams a day, 4 days off, 3 days off a week. So, trust me, I do my research. I know what's safe. I know what's appropriate. Not overdoing things. It's just my health habits, my sleep. That's where I fail to be smart. So, all right, guys, I'm stalling. Not the Russian guy. Digital Apollyon, Digital, Polyon. All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'll see you soon. Isaiah, peace out, bro. Enjoy the sunrise. I will. Try my best. I don't think I'll be up for the sunrise, but I'll be up to enjoy the day, so. Nah. Shrooms are illegal to get in Virginia, well, Washington, D.C., so. LAD, still a little bit illegal. You can use safe over-the-counter sleep aid. Don't use the Benadryl one. It's not good for you. Use the Unisom. This works wonders. Yeah, I was thinking about going to the store tomorrow and picking up some melatonin to definitely help with trying to wind down and get to bed at appropriate time. But, all right, guys. I appreciate your time. Thanks for chilling and talking with me, even though that most of the time it's not crypto-related. Can't help it. I'm not here to build a crypto channel. I'm here to build a community of people that like to talk about a lot of things, crypto being the main one. But I think that's the joy of the internet. Right, guys. See you soon. Let's do the thing. Let's pick a song. I don't have any really running short on music here. So I already played the new Kai Straw song. I already played the new Marlon Craft song. We'll play Coleman Hill. I like Coleman Hill. We'll play that. It's probably a little bit more poppy than what I'm used to playing, but yeah, we'll load that up. It's called Save Yourself. I'll add that to the playlist. As always, if you guys like the songs that I play either at the beginning or the end of the live streams, in the description, there is a Spotify playlist that allows you to find those songs that I play. So other than that, during the live stream, it's always carbon based, just if you guys are curious. But all right, guys. We'll log out with that. Trying to slow blink like a cat. I can't. Bye.
If I'm your knight in shining armor, well, I find that kinda hard to believe. Cause I'm a lover, not a fighter, and I like to wear my heart on my sleeve. You don't gotta be a damsel, you can do it by your damn self. Can someone write a fairy tale where I'm the one you want and not the one that you need? So you can save yourself the trouble it takes to tell somebody, cause you know, you could save yourself. You could save yourself. Yeah, you can save yourself the trouble it takes to tell somebody, cause you know, you could save yourself. You could save yourself. Once upon a time, yeah, you know how the story goes. Get somebody right, something more original. Cause you don't need a king to be a queen. You and me with the dream team. I don't wanna be your hero, but I'm gonna be right here though, where I'm the one you want and not the one that you need. So you can save yourself the trouble it takes to tell somebody, cause you know, you can save yourself. You can save yourself. Yeah, you can save yourself the trouble it takes to tell somebody, cause you know, you can save yourself. You can save yourself. Save yourself. Save yourself. So you can save yourself the trouble it takes to tell somebody, cause you know, you can save yourself. Yeah, you can save yourself the trouble it takes to tell somebody, cause you know, you can save yourself. You can save yourself.
I'm not being focused on them. I can't. Not anymore. Yeah, if I was worried what you think, then I would ask you. I can play the villain if I have to. Yeah, type to build it better when they bash you. Yeah, they think that I'm nutty trying to cash you. Outlast, outwork, outclass you. Yeah, shorty naked in a house and I'ma smash you. I'll make it happen, motherfucker, cause I have to. Treat it like it's suit and tie, but it's casual. Treat it like it's do or die. I know that I'm raving mad. She knows that I'm changing, yeah. Kids that ghosts become strangers, yeah. Smear the portrait I painted, shouldn't feel for. Hey, told you only thing I ever needed was the love, yeah. Scared of times of who I was becoming, what a bum, yeah. Weary eye, every time I walk out in the sun, your boy verify, but you know that just didn't get it done. I got some checks in my DMs, laying notes in the PM. High hopes on me, I was hoping I would get to see him. Check the post on me, I was feeling dead, but now it's freedom. Yeah, if I was worried what you think, then I would ask. I can play the villain if I have to. Yeah, type to build it better when they bash you. Yeah, they think that I'm nutty trying to cash you. Outlast, outwork, outclass you. Yeah, shorty naked in a house and I'ma smash you. I'll make it happen, motherfucker, cause I have to. Treat it like it's suit and tie, but it's casual. Treat it like it's do or die. I know that I'm raving mad. She knows that I'm changing, yeah. Kids that ghosts become strangers, yeah. Smear the portrait I painted, shouldn't feel for. Yeah, I took this appointment, I learned how to use that. Treat it like a coin flip, heads up to the movement. Tales about the long nights, tales about the lost love. Brand new pair of off-whites, no shit in the aux plug. Shift your force, yeah. I know it hurts you when you're not real. Now if you love me, then you cost it. Now you wanna tell me about how you. Yeah, Yeah, if I was worried what you think, then I would ask you. I can play the villain if I have to. Yeah, tight to build it better when they bash you. Yeah, they think that I'm nutty trying to cash you. Outlast, outwork, outclass you. Yeah, shorty naked and I hustle, I'ma smash you. I'll make it happen, motherfucker, cause I have to. Treat it like it's suit and tie, but it's casual. Treat it like it's do or die. You know that I'm